Hi everyone, my name's Cyprienne and today I'm going to be showing you how to make these adorable pumpkins. As you can see, I completely got addicted to making them and I couldn't stop because they're really fast and easy. So the thing about this pattern is you can make a variety of different patterns. So this is just it made plain. It's pretty cute. And then my favorite is the striped. And this actually is worked in rounds, just like you would work a hat. And the striping is achieved by changing your yarn color every round. So you would pick two colors and change it at every round. And this is what it looks like. I hope you can see this. Actually, I'll show you this one because it's a smaller one. You can see this variegated yarn looks really nice because you see the colors transition as you carry further up the pumpkin. Another option, oh, my little birdie fell. I'll just leave him right there. I found that actually in my little fall decoration package. Another option is to change your colors every round using 3 colors, and that's going to give you this almost check-like design on it. And I really like that one too. This is my sister's favorite. It's pretty traditional and I like it. I have a bigger one like this sitting on my mantle downstairs, but if you go over to my Instagram page at Pretty Darn Adorable, you'll see a lot of these that I've posted, all different ideas. This one is just one, oops, I guess I didn't glue it on. I just topped off with some little leaves and a pine cone. That one's pretty cute. And this is one that I did in pink, and pink and purple being my favorite color. I love this one. Anyways, okay, so if you want to check out more, you can see them on my Instagram at Pretty Darn Adorable. But let's move ahead because you guys are here to learn how to make these. So what you're going to need is super bulky yarn, or you can use 2 strands of worsted together. And in fact, you can use any yarn you want. It's just going to affect the size of the finished pumpkin. But I do recommend go down a hook size. So if your yarn calls for 9, use an 8mm. If it calls for a 6.5, use a 5.5. You want the weave on these to be tight so that when you stuff them, you don't have the stuffing poking through. So I actually stuffed mine quite a bit. It kept them nice and big and firm. So yes, go down a hook size. You may at the bottom, because we increase quickly on these, you're going to have like little holes here because you're going to be working 2 single crochets into 1 single stitch, and that creates that little hole. But you can see once the pumpkin's finished, you don't notice it at all. So don't worry about that. Another sort of cheat I do is I say to change yarns every round, but the fact is, while we're working our single crochets, which is how we start the pumpkin, just keep your yarn the same color. It's the bottom of the pumpkin. You don't see it, and it just makes it move faster, in my opinion anyways. Of course, it's completely up to you how you want to do it. So if you want to change every other round, that totally works too. Okay, I'm going to provide the total list of supplies below so you know everything that you need. But really, all you need to get started is your super bulky yarn and an 8mm hook. Today, I'm going to making these in the Coney Island. I really like the Coney Island colors for fall with the greens and the oranges, and the Fisherman. And both of these are Lion Brand's woolies. So the first thing I'm going to do is, another thing for this video, I'm assuming that you already know your beginner stitches, that you know how to do a slip knot, a chain, single crochet, half double crochet. So we're just going to sort of be whipping through this. If you're a beginner and feel that you want me to do a beginner video, please make sure that you let me know in the comments below, and I can do that up for you. If you are enjoying the pace that I'm moving at, give it a like so I know, because I'm always sort of experimenting with my YouTube videos to decide which pace to do it. So, okay, so we're going to go ahead and make a slip knot, and we're going to be working this just like you would a basic beanie. So we're going to be working starting with 5 single crochets. Another thing I want to mention too is depending on how many increase rounds you do will determine the size of your pumpkin. The only thing is for this stitch, make sure that you're using a multiple of 2. So if you want to start with 6 and go 6, 12, 24, you can do that. Just like I said, always make sure that you end with a multiple of 2 before you start doing the rounds with the texture on it. Okay, so I'm going to chain 2. And I'm just going to work 5 single crochet into the first chain. Okay. Another thing I do with this is I join the end of each round because it is easier for counting for me anyways. And I'm not using a stitch marker for these because I was making so many and I just wanted to work fast. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do one more. And then I think I'm going to join with a slip stitch, chain 1 and turn. And we're not going to change the yarn because I'm being lazy and I just want to work my beginning rounds in the same color. And then we're going to go back into our last stitch and we're going to work 2 in every single stitch. So we're going to take it from 5 single crochets to 10 single crochets. Again, if you're a beginner, let me know in the comments below if you'd like me to do a more detailed video showing you stitch by stitch and moving slower. But for now, I'm assuming that people making this know your basic stitches and can follow along. Okay, so we're at the end of this round. You want to go back and count and just make sure that you have your 10 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Again, we're going to join with a slip stitch. And we're going to chain 1 and 2. Now I'm going to be doubling the stitches again in this round. I actually really like, and you don't see it so much in the smallest size, which is what I'm making. Also, I should mention, I have this pattern on my blog. It has 4 sizes, but I'm just going to make the smallest size today just for ease and quickness of the video. So we're going to actually single crochet up until we have 20. So we're going to increase quickly. And what I was starting to say is when you go into a bigger pumpkin like this one here, the bottom, I think this one's 40 stitches, it starts to ripple, which is actually really nice with the pumpkins because even though I've pulled, sorry, I'm going to choose a different one. I've pulled the sides in. Lots of people don't want to do that in their pumpkin. They just want to leave it almost like a ball. So it's nice when it has that little ripple effect on the bottom. Okay, so let's get back to this. So we're going to do 2 single crochet in each stitch so that we have a total of 20 stitches. I'm going to put timestamps also below so that those of you who just want to pause me to do your own thing and then jump in can do that easily. But for others who want to stick with me, let's do this. We're going to do 2 single crochet in each stitch so that we have 20 stitches in total. I will also show you how I do my color changes. I think lots of people have different ways of doing them. Let me just lock in my focus. Have different ways of doing them. And I'm going to show you how I do mine. Okay. I think I can probably fast forward this. Who else ends up crocheting their hair? Oh gosh, sorry. Crocheting their hair into their works. Let me know below how you deal with it because whenever I try and pull it out, it like snaps and it makes my head do like this twang. Oh, just thinking about it gives me the heebie-jeebies. Okay, so this is the last increase round that we're doing, and we're just going to make sure that we have 20 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Perfect. Okay, so we are going to, I lost my, oh, there it is right in front of me. We are going to now change color, and the way I like to do that is I like to start my stitch, do yarn over, pull it through, and then I like to finish my stitch with the new color yarn. And I do that consistently every time I change color, and then that way it's a nice clean color change. Let me see if I can show you the back seam on one of these. Okay, so here's the back seam on this one. And you can see, even though you can see the seam, it's a nice clean color change every time. Okay, so we're gonna get on to our special stitch now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna chain 3 at the beginning of the round. And then we are going to work over into the 3rd stitch. So this is your 1st, 2, 3. Okay, and we're gonna do a half double crochet. All right, and then you're gonna be working into this stitch later. So again, you're gonna chain, skip this stitch, and work into the next. Do a chain, skip this stitch, half double crochet into the next. Chain, skip, half double crochet into the next stitch. So you're going to continue on this way. Can you tell I have animals? I'm going to chain, skip into the next stitch. You're going to do the entire round like this. So I'm just going to pause my camera and I'm going to finish off this round and then come back. Okay, so I finished that round and I'm going to just work into this space here, and I'm going to do my color change just like I did before. So I'm going to do my hook through, yarn over, bring that up, and then I'm going to grab my, oh, also another thing you have to do is pick which side is the wrong side of your project, because you want to make sure that you keep your yarn ends always just to one side. So this is going to be the back side, and then I'm going to pick the yarn that is attached to the ball still, and I'm going to finish off my stitch with that. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just go to the back and pull that nice and tight so that it doesn't unravel on me. I'm going to do a chain 1. I'm going to turn my work. Now I've got the back side facing, and we're going to work into that bottom stitch that's under your chain 1 space. Okay, so you're going to do yarn over, half double crochet into that stitch, pull it up to the height of your round there, and then finish off your half double crochet. You're going to do a yarn over, chain 1, and you're going to work into that next stitch that's under your chain 1 space. So just work that in there. You're going to do a yarn over. Again, work into that space that's underneath your chain 1 space, and we're going to do this for the entire round. And you also want to be counting to make sure that you do have 20 stitches. However, one of the fun things that I love about making just fun little items, decor items, they don't always have to be perfect, and especially with something like a pumpkin. So if you mess up and you end up with 22 stitches or 24 stitches, it's up to you whether you rip it out or not, because the only thing it's going to mean is that you have a different size pumpkin in the end. And unless that's really important to you, I would just forge forward. But I still would count my stitches. Okay, so I'm going to finish this round and then I'll come up and meet with you again. Okay, so I'm at the end of my round and I'm going to check my stitches, because sometimes when I have a stitch here, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to work it, so I always count my stitches. And a little cheat when you're working in this pattern is each one of these counts as 2, because each one is attached to a chain stitch. So you're going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So I do have to work in that last space. I've done my chain 1, and there it is there that I work into. And regardless of how many I've made of these, I always seem to sort of get hung up on that last stitch and unsure. So I'm going to do chain 1, and then this one, we're not working into the space, we're going to work into that first half double crochet that we made, because now we're ready to do that. We have those stitches in place. So again, I'm just going to pull that through. I'm pulling the yarn towards my back side now, and I'm going to finish off that stitch with my variegated yarn that I have. Okay, and again, just pulling them tight. And I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to turn, flip my pumpkin right side out. Oh, look, it's so cute. And then I'm going to start working down into this stitch here, okay? into my half double crochet. So we're actually gonna continue working exactly like that until the pumpkin measures 4.5 inches. So I'm gonna do that. Then we get to 4.5 inches, I'll meet up with you and we'll continue on finishing the pumpkin. Okay, I hope everyone's been having success so far. If you are, give me a thumbs up and let me know it's turning out great for you. Okay, take care. All right, hello again. Okay, so I continued crocheting and this now measures 4.5 inches, or pretty darn close to it. And so what we're going to be doing now is finishing off our top round. So I cut off this tail here because that's going to be the last round I work with that yarn. So this one we're just going to be closing these spaces. So I'm just going to finish off that final round with my cream yarn and chain 1 and turn. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be working a half double crochet as we normally did. We're going to work it down in that stitch below the chain 1 space, and then we're going to be working a single crochet directly into the chain 1 space. And that's just going to help to fill those holes. So we're going to do a yarn over, half double crochet into this chain below the space as usual, and then working directly into that space, we're going to place a single crochet. Okay, so we're going to be doing that all the way around this top round, okay? So see how that looks there? And see how pretty that variegated yarn is? I am in love with doing this texture in the 2 different yarns. Okay, so we're going to do half double crochet and a single crochet. So I'm going to finish off my last round here, and then we're going to be stuffing the pumpkin, cinching the top closed, and then shaping the pumpkin. And that is, the shaping of the pumpkin is up to you if you want to do it or not, but I love to do it. So, okay, I'm going to meet up with you guys very soon. All right, so I finished that round. I've closed all my chain spaces, and I'm just going to join to the first half double crochet, and I'm going to do a slip stitch, and then just fasten it off. Now, what we want to do at this point is we have to leave a tail that is long enough for shaping the pumpkin and cinching it closed. So just pull lots and lots of yarn, and then I'm going to show you a little trick that I've been using, okay? So I section my pumpkins off into 6 sections. So what I do is I take the yarn, which tail is it? This one. Okay. And I actually wrap it around 10 times. That gives me enough yarn to accommodate the stuffing that's going to go into the pumpkin and to cinch the top. So just do 1, 2, very loosely, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And then I'll just cut it off. There's my hair. I think I'm losing my hair. Cut it off here. And pull it out. So that should give us enough yarn to do everything we need to do. It's up to you whether you weave the tails in or not. I'm generally lazy when it comes to decorative things. It's a chance to sort of cheat the system and move a little quicker. So we're going to turn the pumpkin right side out. And I'm going to pause you because I forgot to bring my stuffing over. So there it is there. I just love these. Okay, so I have my bag of poly-fil that I got off of Amazon. I might have bought the biggest one that they have. And then I was kind of sad to see that I could have gotten a much better deal at Michael's had I gone there and used my coupon. So just keep that in mind. If you can get there, use your coupon, it's a better deal. Anyway, okay, so, and I also bought this massive needle when I did the extra large size. I'm going to leave a link to this one because I haven't seen them in any stores. But it's a Susan Bates and it's a 5-inch needle. So if you make the extra large pumpkin, you definitely need one of these because it's almost impossible to push a regular yarn needle through that's about half the size. So I'm sort of enjoying using that one for all of them. So I like to stuff mine and then cinch it, but it's completely up to you. It's also up to you how much stuffing you use. I use a lot because it keeps the pumpkin a nice size. Like I have this massive handful that I will actually stuff all the way down there. And then what I do, the first few pumpkins I made were kind of wonky. So what I do is I put my fingers, I hope you can see that okay. I put my fingers in and then just kind of work it about so that it's all evenly distributed. Okay, and then I'm gonna just feed my yarn needle. You can probably pause me for this or fast forward me. Okay, and then to cinch the top closed, all I do, hang on, sorry, is I just work it in and out of the stitches like this. Just weave it like this. And then it just, you've got quite a bit to pull through. If you find your yarn stops, it means there's usually a little bit too much. So just pull it out. And keep working it through. Sorry, this is, I'm sure, kind of boring for some. And just keep pushing it. See, and it's going to start to cinch close. So you can just keep working it all the way around like this. At this point, you can feel it and decide if you want to stuff it some more. Mine's feeling a little, believe it or not, empty up here, so I'm going to take a little bit more stuffing, put it in. The stuffing actually goes a long way. Okay, I did get the most massive bag I've ever seen, but I've done a lot of pumpkins. Okay, so I'm going to pull it a little bit more and then just keep going until we're all the way around. Oh my goodness. If it's not my hair, it's the cat's hair. If it's not the cat's hair, it's the dog's hair. But funny thing is the only person bald in this house is my husband, and we never find his hair. I guess that's probably why, because he already lost it a long time ago. All right, so let's just keep pulling this. Oh my goodness. I think I've done maybe too much yarn. I didn't have to do the 10 rounds. Okay, so there it is. It's closed now. All right, and then you can just take a couple of stitches at the top, like this. And close it. Okay, now, here's where the fun begins. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start shaping the pumpkin. Now, the one thing I found is that, and I'm not really sure why this is that some pumpkins, their shape shows more than others. And if I find I'm shaping it and it's not showing, I'll go over it a second time. So what we're gonna do, and I also like to line it up with a line here, is we're gonna wrap the yarn around and then we're gonna go up through the bottom and up through the middle, like this. Okay, and then we're gonna pull. And there's your first little indent made, okay? Now I like to go down the opposite side and you kind of pull and pinch at the same time to keep it shaped so it doesn't come undone. And then I'm gonna go up through the bottom again. And then just check where your yarn is aligning when you get close, and just make sure it is where you want it to be before you pull it too tight. So I like to adjust mine at this point, and then I'm going to pull it tight. Okay, and I think I'm going to go over those two a second time just to make it really pronounced. Okay, and I'm going to go around this way again. And again, it's totally your preference. Oops. Okay. Flying pumpkins. It's not farmhouse pumpkin, it's flying pumpkin. Okay. There we go. And I'm actually going to cut a bit of this yarn because I think I have way too much. Okay, this is going to make things easier. Now we're going to divide the side off into thirds. So place one there and then one about there. So I'm going to just wrap this one around. Oh, okay. It's a little tangled. Okay, I really feel like I should be posting a before and after picture to prove that I'm not bald by the end of this. Okay, and then just pull like that. Okay, and I'm gonna do that one again. It can be kind of hard to see. And just pull it out the bottom if it snags. All right, there we go. Okay, you can see it starting to take shape now. And then I'm gonna do right here where I think it looks good. It's like a third. Again, up through the bottom and through the middle. That's kind of lopsided, so I'm just gonna, there we go. Just checking before I pull it too tight. I think I want it about there. And I'm gonna pull it again and I'm gonna go over it again. Okay, so what we've done here, we're gonna do on this side next, but you can see how this side is taken shape. And that's your bottom side and your top. So I'm gonna finish this off and then we can talk about things that we can use to finish off your pumpkin. There you go. Is everybody liking it so far? If you're liking it, give it a thumbs up so I know. And tell me what colors you chose, because I'm always curious about that. Okay, so there it is, all finished. The last thing we're gonna do is just put the needle back through from top to bottom, and we're gonna fasten it off from there. So we've got lots of yarn left. So if you don't think that you're going to need to go over it twice, you don't need to wrap the yarn before you stuff it as many times. Probably 6 times would do it. Anyway, we're just going to fasten off these ends. Okay, and then that's it. So the last thing we have to do is choose what we're going to top the pumpkin with. So I did a few different things. I'm going to show you. So that one's just, oh, my next little, they almost feel like stress balls. Like I can't stop squeezing them. I'm sure that's kind of strange, but oh well. Okay, so here is some ribbon that I got from Michael's. And what I did with those, I did 2 different things. So strangely enough, I found a little tack laying around the house. And I just grabbed it and tried it. So what I did was I cut the ribbon and I folded it over and then I put this little tack in, which you might want to put some hot glue if you don't want them to come out, but they're actually very, okay, they're not that strong. Not as strong as I thought, probably because I've put it in and out a million times. But you could put some glue on those to keep it in place, especially if you have little ones around. So they are called, my husband picked me some up. I was like, hey, I found this, but I don't know where it came from. They're blued carpet tacks, but they're rustic looking and I like them and they go in really well. So that's what I used for those. And then another little one I did, but I haven't actually glued it on, was I had a couple of leaves and a little pine cone and I put that on that one, which I thought was kind of cute. I made some for my mom and I did hers like that. And then this one I just stuck like a little twig and some of this ribbon on. Now when it comes to the twigs, I have no idea why I thought this, but for some reason I took my scissors to the twigs and couldn't cut them. And then I said to my husband, oh, can you cut them with a saw? And then I went outside and I found my gardening shears. So these here are the best. You can keep them in your craft box or whatever, and you can very easily cut the twigs with this, and your husband or you don't have to use your saw. So I think that is everything you need to know with these. I'd love to know how you finished yours off. Again, if you're on Instagram, be sure to tag me at Pretty Darn Adorable, because I love, love, love to see what you guys do with my designs. I always find that people think outside the box and do things I would never think of doing, and I just love seeing it. So this pattern is for sale in my Etsy shop if you want to be able to print it off, or it's on my blog, and it has 4 sizes from small to extra large. So I will put everything in the links below to everything that you need, and I really, really hope that you enjoyed making this, and I will see you next time. Take care and stay cozy.